How's it going, everybody? I am DeanoGTO, and today we're looking at Tokyo circuit races in Midnight Club 2. So, this is pretty much like the last real video I'm going to make on this game where I'm actually doing races that I haven't actually done in a long time. Like, I'm going to make one more video on this game, just doing, like, dealing with the cheat codes and stuff, because cheat codes, well, it's an old Rockstar game. And let's just say Rockstar games that are old usually have pretty good cheat codes. I mean, look at San Andreas as an example. Cheat codes in this game aren't quite as insane as those, but they're still pretty good. They're pretty interesting, and we will see that, or well, we will see those in the next video. So you can see here I'm driving the Veloci again, and I always forget just how snappy this car here can be. And because I'm so used to commentating over like water tanks, I keep wanting to say tank. I keep wanting to say tank. It's sticking everything in me to say car rather than tank. And I put out a video on Forza Horizon 4 on Tuesday, which is probably going to be the only real video that I do on Forza Horizon 4. I'm not sure if I'll do more, because Forza Horizon 4 is kind of a difficult video, or not video. It's a difficult game to make a videos on because, well, you can't exactly just go and build a car and then race that, and then race specifically that class where you built that car to that particular class. You can build drift cars and stuff like that and race, or well, and just use those all the time, but the problem with the way the system works in Forza Horizon 4 is effectively you can build a car and you could do like 9 races, or well, you could do nearly 9 races before you actually get to drive it. And when I say 9 races, I really mean I think it's 45, because you have to do 3 races, or well, you have to do at least 3 races, but oftentimes it takes 5 races in like an event type before your car type can switch, before you can switch to a different car type or to a different car class. It's a pretty bad system in my opinion for trying to build cars for videos and stuff like that. It just doesn't really work. You could spend like an hour in the game and not get a single event where you can actually use the car that you built. It doesn't really work. It's not like World of Tanks or something like that where you can just pick a tank and be like, oh yeah, I'll play this. It doesn't work anything like that. It kind of sucks in that regard, like, because you can't really do anything to really rectify that. You could, like, the only idea I could think of was build like 7 cars, and then have like a bunch of different recordings for like before, and then just play the game until I get lucky to. Whoops. Sorry, my controller actually got disconnected there for a second. The only real way I could think of to try and fix really fix that issue was to record like 7 different videos building 7 different cars, and then just hope I get lucky and get all the different car classes and all the different like event types. Because if you think about it, there's 3 different types of races in reality in Forza Horizon 4. There is dirt racing, cross country, and street racing / circuit racing. So, oops, I am driving really badly now. And because there's 3 different types and there's 3 different classes, there's A class, S1 class, and S2 class, it makes it very, very hard to actually get the right class that you need. It's pretty rough, if I'm honest. But yeah, let's actually focus on this game here. Oops, I hit the wrong button. I meant to hit next race. My bad. Let's just continue on. So, let's see. I might try and switch car here between races because it'll just make it a bit more interesting. But I think I'll just keep with this car here for now, at least. But I do think I remember a race like this here from when I was younger playing this game. This race here, I do think I remember being a bit of a pain in the ass. It's 3 laps as well. This is a very fast car, but, well, 3-lap races in Tokyo are usually pretty rough. Let's see, I wonder how long this video is actually going to end up being. It's probably going, like, if I had to guess, this video is probably going to end up being like 40 minutes. And for the next game I play on the channel, I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. It's definitely going to be like some sort of single player game. But I think I'm going to try and keep the parts to like 20 minutes a piece, because 20 minutes seems to be about the sweet point. Because if you have it longer than 20 minutes, then it takes literally 12 hours to upload to YouTube. Like, I really wish there was like a system where you could like upload upload compressed videos to YouTube and it can just like uncompress the video. That would be so much handier for people with slow internet connections like mine. Oh, and also, like, this is something I'm probably going to mention in my next World of Tanks video, but everybody should go and get a VPN. If you're in Europe, you should go and get a VPN, like, as soon as you can. Like, there are free VPNs that you can use as, like, temporary, but I've heard that, like, there are some issues that can be caused with using free VPNs in comparison to paid ones. Right now, I'm still using, like, a free one that I was reading about online. I can't even remember its name right now off the top of my head, but I think everybody in Europe should get a VPN as soon as possible, because I think it's called Article 13 passed, and that means that effectively YouTube could be dead soon. Effectively dead in the EU, which is pretty bad, as you can probably imagine. Like, I know a lot of people already have VPNs and stuff installed on their phones and on their like laptops and stuff like that there for whenever they're using public Wi-Fi networks. But it seems like now at this point you're going to start using VPNs for everything, or like for your main like desktop computers and all as well. But yeah, I'm just still trying to look into like what the best option is, because well, I don't exactly want my internet to be restricted, because that's what the EU seems to be intent on doing, which I think a lot of people are going to be really pissed off about for pretty logical reasons. Because pretty much all, like, the whole real purpose of Article 13 is just so that they can restrict the usage of like music labels and music. Instead of updating copyright, actually make more sense for the 21st century. They're trying to reinforce the classic sort of copyrights that we had years gone by, which doesn't really work for the internet, because the internet, there's always a workaround. There literally always is a workaround, so it doesn't really work. I mean, there are even VPNs you can install onto like a memory stick, and if you're using like a school computer or like a what do you call it? If you're using like a school computer or like a work computer or something like that, there you can just stick a memory pen into the computer, open up the memory pen, and if you open up the memory pen, then you can like load the VPN directly from the memory pen, rather than having to install it onto the computer itself. It's interesting just how flexible VPNs actually are. I always thought they would be kind of clunky and kind of awkward to use, but they're actually pretty handy for the most part. I was actually kind of surprised by that. But yeah, I'm getting kind of off topic, because yeah, the Article 13 thing kind of infuriates me, because it's just sort of just people who don't know anything about the internet trying to regulate the internet. Never goes well. It's like probably the funniest way I can think of to really think of like an analog for this sort of situation is like, let's see, so say like the car comes along and people who don't even know what a car is and have just seen like a picture of it. Imagine those people trying to regulate what a car is able to do. Like, imagine they saw like the first car, the three-wheeled like Mercedes or Daimler Mercedes, and they were trying to regulate like what that car should be able to do. Like, they would probably just end up restricting it so much that the horse and cart would probably be a better option. Like, I'm trying to think of a better way to like, phrase that, but yeah, I'm not really that good at like, coming up with phrasing for things like that. But let's just continue on ahead here and try and get this sorted out as quickly as possible. So, first lap only took like 56 seconds, which is pretty solid. So this actually seems to be a really quick track. And one thing I'm finding kind of interesting about these events is just how quick you can actually do them and how fluid some of these tracks actually feel. Like, a lot of these tracks actually feel better than some of the tracks they actually used in the game, which is pretty surprising, because usually like you would think these tracks would be like the leftovers or something like that. I actually feel like somebody went and built these races after they'd already finished like doing the career mode, because these races actually feel really good to play, and I feel like they're really well put together. Now granted, I'm not driving as well as I possibly could be, but it's still just fun to drive around these tracks and try and get the most out of your car, try and get like the cleanest lap you can pretty much. So that lap was pretty much like, what was that, like a second faster than my previous lap? I'm pretty hesitant about using nitrous go over those jumps, because I always forget like which one of them it is that you have to turn left after. So let's try and be a little bit quicker this time. and try and let's hopefully try and break 55 seconds if we can here. It's interesting, like something which I remember doing when I was younger, which I haven't actually been doing at all in this playthrough, is I used to use nitrous to help turn my car. And it actually works pretty well, especially in cars like this where the car's a little bit tail happy. You can actually use nitrous just to get your car to turn a little bit better, and wow, that was nearly a 50-second lap. Jesus. Okay, that was substantially faster than the previous laps. So let's move on to the next one here. So there are 7 races in this. So it could, actually I think it was the 3rd race. So I've got another 4 to go. So this is probably just under the halfway point in the video. In fact, no. After this race it would be the halfway point in the video, because I think the last couple of races are probably going to be, probably the 5th race will probably be about the halfway point in the video, because if you think about it, the last couple of races are usually a bit longer than the previous races, so it'll probably wind up working out that the last couple of races are a few, a minute or 2 longer than the other races, so it'll probably wind up that the 5th race will probably be about the halfway point in the video. Jeez. That's just, I remember specifically this race, actually, just thinking about it there. That part of the map there, I don't think you ever use it in the actual game itself. In the normal career mode of the game, you never use that little route. And it just seems so weird to me that they had that part in the game for a mode which I think a lot of people never really bothered to play. I remember I had a friend, me and him both had this game at the same time. Both of us didn't have internet at that point in time because, well, it was 2003, and I don't think I had internet until 2006 or something. It might have been 2005, but yeah, the internet wasn't really a common thing around where I lived for a long time. And the internet's still such a recent thing, actually thinking about it. It's only really in the last 15 years that everybody really has access to it. Or probably really only in the last 10 years. And it's why I think things like streaming consoles and stuff like that are so interesting, but also concerning at the same time. Because if you think about streaming consoles, all the consoles in the world became streaming consoles. That would be pretty rough for the people who don't have good internet connections. I mean, what would they really be able to do? I mean, if they don't have a fast enough internet connection, then what are their options? And I've gone off to the tangent again. I can't even remember what I was speaking about earlier. I think I was just talking about how these races here, a lot of them just feel better than the actual races that they used in the career mode. It's interesting how there's certain areas on the map which they never actually used in the career mode, but you use in this mode. And damn, this race here is actually pretty long. I'm just noticing there, this is a 3-lap race. I kind of assumed it was 2. Jeez. Think about it there, that's actually pretty crazy. Because it's a 2-minute lap. Okay, so I feel probably the halfway point in this race is probably going to be about the halfway point of the video, looking at that, because this is actually a really long race, and if the later races are longer than this is going to take a bit longer than I was expecting. I might need to spend 14 hours or something like that uploading this video, because believe it or not, the longest video I've uploaded for this series, I believe so far, was 35 minutes, and that took, I think, not 15 hours, it took 13 hours to upload that. Because, well, upload speeds in my area are it says it's a megabit a second, but it really isn't. It's probably 400 megabits a second or something like that there. It's really not that good. It's kind of crap if I'm honest. And I actually wonder, would it even be possible for me to stream? I actually don't think so. I don't even think stream would really be possible given my internet speed. Because I was actually considering at one point just doing a stream of this game where I beat the entire game in one stream. Because I think I could do that pretty easily. Because I'm familiar with the game again, I know the racetracks, and I've actually I've actually beaten the game again since recording the previous video, because I was uploading something and I was just thinking like, I want to play a game, but I don't want to play a game that I might play on the channel. I know. I'll just go back and play Midnight Club 2 again. I just beat the entire game. I finished it with 20 minutes to spare on the upload of the video. So, yeah, like this game here, I honestly think you can beat within. I think you could probably beat this game easily within 5 hours. If you're winning every race first time, I think you could win this. I think you could beat this entire game within 5 hours. Now there are some tricky races which could hold you back a bit, but if you're won every race first time, I wouldn't actually be surprised if you could beat it in under 4 hours. But that's not including the circuit races as well. The circuit races, I think, would make it up to like about the 5 hour mark. Ah, damn it! I keep doing that. So geez, we're past the 5 minute mark. But at least we're on the last lap. Damn, this is a long race. I'm trying to decide now, do I want to keep just with the Veloci because the Veloci is pretty solid of a car? Or do I want to switch between different cars? Because the other cars are definitely not going to be as quick as the Veloci around tracks like this, because the Veloci, its main thing is just its incredible abilities to turn on like a dime. I mean, it's actually kind of reminiscent of the Monstro in some shape or form. And I keep using the Monstro as like my reference point because that was probably my favorite handling car in LA, and that was probably the car I spent like the most time driving in this game, because I just like that car for some reason. It just clicked for me for some reason. Psychic Access is a bit closer to the Monstro because, well, it's front engines and this thing here is mid engined, but this thing here still has like sort of it has the grip of like a front wheel drive car whenever you're in like mid corner, but it has like whenever you begin turning, it has like sort of like the sliding ability of something like a Monstro. So let's see. So now we're on to the 5th race, I believe this is. Actually, I think it is. Like, oh, well, let's see. So the first race was against the guy Shing, I think his name was. Then there was 2 races against like Ricky's car. Race against the Psycho. Now I'm going to race against the Knight. Right. So this, I think this is the 5th race here. And of course, the Knight always has these races where you're going up and down from the highways. It's always annoying. So let's try and get a decent lead here. Also, like when it comes to using the cheat codes, I'm probably going to use the cheat codes just on the on like a new save file, just so you can see just what the cheat codes can actually do and just how much of like an advantage the cheat codes give you if you were just to use them from the very start. I always forget about that little route behind that wall. I always just completely forget about it. Now I think there's a little left hand turn here, isn't there? Yes there is. So I think I'm coming up about the end of a lap on this track. Actually, no, never mind. Apparently this race is longer than expected. Oh right, okay. It's another one of these races. They really like this jump in this game, which is interesting because in Midnight Club 3, I think it was Midnight Club 3 Remixed, they barely ever used that jump, from what I recall. Like, in fact, honestly, I found the Tokyo section of that game pretty disappointing. Because I remember thinking like, oh, I hope it's as good as the one that was in Midnight Club 2. And then I played it and I was like, oh, is it? Because it was, like, I kind of got what they were going for with it, because they kind of had to make it a bit different, because it was like an add-on that you could continue your old save file from the original game. Like, you could play Midnight Club 3, beat the entire game, and then you could go and play Tokyo after that there, and you could start again from the beginning in Tokyo, or you could just continue using the cars you already had from the normal campaign of Midnight Club 3. But it's pretty interesting. It was like the first real DLC I ever remember in a game. Just like the remix version of that game was pretty cool. Like, I can't really think of another game where you could buy like an updated version of the disc that had like more stuff on it. that wasn't like a remaster, because it was the same game. It was the same base game, just with a little more on it. Like I can't think of another game which really did that. I'm actually just racking my brain there, just trying to think of one that I really can't. Like, that game was pretty much like for real internet. Well, it was back before internet was really like a consistent thing for people to have. Like, I mean, whenever I had like a PlayStation 2 and Xbox original, I never had internet on those. Like, those things were never connected to the internet. A lot of people always talk about like how like well, mainly like Americans as far as I'm aware, but Americans talk about like how like Halo 2 was like amazing as like a multiplayer game, but like, people where I'm from, like, just, at that point in time we didn't really have internet. The internet was a thing, but it was really slow. It was a telephone internet pretty much. It was a bit crap. Well, I said it was a bit crap, it was really shit. And I remember like the old like CRT computer and all. Jesus, like thinking back on that there, like it was just this big gargantuan grey plastic disgusting computer, which was just it like the plastic was like a really shitty plastic that sort of changed colour over time. Like, oh god. Thinking back on that there, like it's amazing to think like how far screens and like just how far computers in general have come inside of like the last like 15 years. I actually think we had our first computer before we even had internet. Thinking about it, it just occurred to me there, because like we never actually had like a modem, I think it was called. Like we only really ever had like a hub that we just connect a cable to, the computer. There was only ever that one thing in the house that ever had access to the internet until we eventually got like a Wi-Fi capable home hub, or I guess you call it a home hub, or like internet hub. I'm not entirely sure like what other places call them, but we always call them like home hubs. Like you can have like a Sky home hub, you can have like a BT home hub. Yeah, it's interesting like how it works out, and how things like develop so quickly. Because if you look back like 10 years, like the original iPhone came out like 12 years ago or something like that. And while iPhones look very similar and just get a little bit bigger every year, the technology and stuff behind them has just like exploded. And yeah, I'm just completely off topic whenever I'm playing Midnight Club 2 now, because I'm just kind of just playing this in the background while just spewing bullshit. So I think this is the 6th race now, and yeah, this game makes sense. And it's a 2-lap race this time rather than a 3-lap race, so this is going to be a long one. This is definitely going to be a long one. I'm actually kind of tempted, given like how much this race seems to focus on straight lines. I'm very tempted to actually go for the Torque JX here, because I know that car is wicked quick in a straight line. Jesus, like I got destroyed. That bolt. I always hated how they placed that pole like in the perfect positions to mess people up as they're going through this area. See, I'm just trying to work out like the rough route in my head here as to where this is going to go. Like some of it's obvious, but I'm trying to work out like how to get to that top left check, or those top left checkpoints. Oh balls, that was too quick. Oh right, we're going through here, jeez. Okay, you know, I'm just going to turn that off for now and just follow the map on the bottom left. So that actually makes a bit more sense now. It's going through that zone there rather than going along roads and stuff. This is a really intricate track. The lap doesn't actually seem to be that long though. That's kind of surprising. Don't get me wrong, it's a long lap, but the original like Saiku race, like or Healy's car, whatever you want to call it, that race looks as if it probably had like a longer lap. This race in comparison doesn't feel quite as... Whoa, Jesus, that nearly went badly. You remember to be careful of that next time. But I'm nearly at the end of the first... There's a really not that long of a lap in comparison to what I was expecting. I was expecting this like a lap to take like 3 or 4 minutes, but we're pretty much at the end of this lap, and there it is there, right. Okay, so 2 minutes 14 second lap. I'm going to see if I can speed this up a little bit further. See if I can get down to like 2 minute 10 seconds range. Should be possible to do. So let's try and just keep up the speed here as much as possible. I don't have any AIs on my road this time, so I should be able to maintain my speed a little bit better. Actually, another thing, I can't remember if I mentioned this earlier, but like I'm trying to decide like what game I want to play on the channel next after I'm finished this one, because I only really have like one more part to do in this game, and then after that that's it pretty much done. So, it's an interesting question trying to think like what the answer is to it, because it's tempting just to go and play like an old car game like Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005 or something like that, but at the same time I'm not sure if I want to just play car games over and wow, that was lucky, that was interesting. I'm not sure if I just want to play just car games. Like, I like playing games with like cars and stuff involved, but I'm not sure if I just want to play specifically car games all day, every day. Like, I could play something like Mad Max, and I know Mad Max is kind of a car game, but at the same time it does have like shooting stuff in it as well, so, it's an interesting question. Like, I'm just going through like different options in my head, because I think I have like Wolfenstein installed on my computer as well, like Wolfenstein, I think it's called the New Order. It's not the New Colossus. The New Colossus was the more recent one. The New Order is the one I have. It's the first like reboot of the Wolfenstein, of the Wolfenstein series, with like the new graphics and stuff on it. I've actually never played that game. I heard stuff about it, but I never actually like got around to actually playing it myself. But it'd definitely be like an interesting one to play at some point. And yes, managed to break the 2 minute 10 mark. Nice. 2 minutes 9.34. So that wasn't too bad there as well. So I think that was the 6th race completed. I think this might be the last race now. Let's see, this race here. So we're starting on top of the railway. I feel like I remember this race. Oh jeez. It just suddenly turned across in front of me there, I wasn't expecting it. Oh, balls. Okay, so like the lowest center of gravity car here, and I'm the one who rolled. Okay, so this is an interesting track, and it's 3 laps as well. So it looks like the Psycho XS is the only car that has like a 3-lap race. It looks like we're going through the middle of that like central like island area again. Jesus. So let's see. Oh, this is actually a pretty straightforward race for the most part, at least it seems to be. Unless there's a lot more back and forward than what I'm looking at there, at like a glance. Like, I'm just glancing at there, and it looks like it might just be a pretty simple finish to the race. It looks like I'm just going to go back and forward maybe once or twice, and then that'll be the end of the lap. So comparisons, whoa, Jesus, that guy got a long jump. But it actually looks like a relatively simple finish to the race, and yeah, you're just doubling back, it looks like once, and then that's the end of the race. You go up on top of the train tracks, you follow that, and that gets you to the end of the lap. Right, okay, so this is actually not an overly complicated track, but still has some complexity to it, and I forgot which one of those I was supposed to go up and over, but it doesn't matter. I'll take the train track next time. So I'm pretty sure you can just get away with it just down these lower parts. Doesn't really matter too much about going up to the higher parts. In some ways it's actually a wee bit faster because you don't have to deal with the trains and stuff. So there is no traffic in this mode if you haven't noticed. Like all the traffic and stuff is just disabled. So you just really have to worry about like trains and stuff as far as I'm aware. Those are really like the only things that are actually like driving about on the map. So in some ways it actually probably is faster just to stay on the low ground. So let's see, so I'm probably about, I would say this is probably just under the halfway point of the race, but yeah, let's try and just focus on trying to get like a good quick lap out of this here, and he says that just as he does that. Of course, I should really just give him my mouth closed and just stop saying, oh, let's try and get a good lap out of this here, and then immediately roll the car. But I do think this is the last race that you have in Tokyo, and that should be 100% of the game completed. And I'll probably show you in like the next recording, because I don't really feel like I actually know into the game. But I'll probably show you in the next recording that that's 100% completed on this particular save, because this is the save called DeanoGTO, I think it's called. Because I have another one called DeanOGTO because of a file that got messed up, and I just redid the entire campaign. Like I probably beat this campaign like probably like 4 times now, I'd say. Like I haven't done like the circuit races before, but I probably beat the campaign completely like 4 times, because I've beaten it like every recording you've seen, like either my first or second playthrough of the game. Hot balls, so I did it again. It's been either my first or second like playthrough of the game. Like it's just one of those things where like sometimes the audio gets messed up and it like makes a screeching noise for some reason, which I can't really figure out. And I just figured out it would be better to try and like re-record it rather than just do like a different voiceover, because it didn't really seem like a good idea just to kind of just edit out the voice completely, because you wouldn't have any car sound or anything like that either. Because like the way my recording software works, it records the audio and the voice clips as part of the same audio track. So it would be kind of boring to watch, I imagine, with no sort of car, or not car noises, there's no sort of game noises whatsoever. I kind of learned that with Word of Tanks whenever I was doing videos in that game without any audio turned on. Why does that keep happening? That's so weird. What is causing that? I can't figure that out. Something about like the way I'm hitting that, it's just weird. Playing this here game again here just makes me want to go back and play some like the old games I played when I was a kid, like things like Gran Turismo 2 and 4 and things like that. Like weirdly, I never played Gran Turismo 3. I don't know why, but I have a habit of missing out on like games which a lot of people say are like the best games in their series. Like I've seen some balls. That nearly went a lot worse than it could have gone. That nearly went really badly there, because that guy could have hit me off the road into the water, and that would have meant that I had to redo the entire race. That was nearly not enough speed. Holy crap! Jesus, the train caught me out there because I actually hadn't been paying attention to it. But I have like a weird like sort of thing where I just somehow continuously miss out on like the best games in series. Like I missed out on, I think it was Gran Turismo 3, I missed out on Forza Horizon 1. Everybody says Horizon 1 is like the best of the Forza Horizon games, but, well, I played Forza Horizon 2, 3 and 4, but I've never played the first one. Everybody's just like, oh, you missed the best one. I'm just like, of course I did, I always do somehow. But yeah, there it is there, that's the game beaten 100%. Right, okay, so let's quickly go back to the front end here, and actually wait, am I able to use that car in this mode? I think I am. Oh, there it is there, yeah. Let's just jump into the Tokyo Cap car here first, then I'll show you the SLF 480X, I think it was called there. So I'll just show you the Tokyo Cap car here. This is the car that you drive at one point in the campaign. And yeah, you can see it has the incredibly earth-shaking siren and the lights and stuff that you can use. It's interesting, like this thing's noise as well. I know there's another car in the game that uses that sound, but I'm actually kind of I'm kind of brain farting on which car it actually was. Actually, hang on. Let me see. Actually, let's quickly just see how fast this thing can go in a straight line here first before I axe out to see like what other cars have this noise, because I'm pretty sure there is one other car. Like it might have been one of the first cars you get in the game. But let's just see how quick this thing is here first. So let's see, so without nitrous, this thing can do... Jesus. Okay, that's actually pretty impressive. It's holding 200, over 220 miles an hour, holy crap. This thing's ridiculous, holy crap. Okay, but now let's show you the actual like quickest car in the game. This thing here is, yeah. I mean, do I really have to say much about this thing? I mean, look at it. This is like the first car I ever remember in a game which actually has like bits that actually actively like respond to whenever you make a move on your controller. I mean, whenever I'm pressing the throttle, like you can see there, it causes the like jet streams in the back to sort of close in, so you get more power. It's such an interesting looking car driving. Like you also see like little flaps that go up and down whenever you turn left and right. Like this thing here is such an insane car, and like the hell this thing here has its own like unique noises. I mean, the nitrous is the only thing that uses that's the same as any other car in the game, and you can just see how quick this thing is. I'm in the water. This thing here is just absolutely insane. I mean, let's just show you just how quick this thing is, just in comparison to all these other cars here. I mean, it just kind of just gradually just destroys everything with its speed, and its turning is absolutely just immense as well. I remember driving this thing as a kid and just being like, what is this thing? What possessed him to put something like this into the game? I mean, it somehow has gears as well, which is something which has always baffled me. I mean, I'm in second gear apparently there. Okay, so there's first gear, now second gear. I imagine there's a third gear, but I don't know. Never mind, I actually don't think there is. But weirdly, something with the handle on this car as well is it actually gets weirdly more responsive the faster you're going. Such a weird feeling. So let's just quickly nitrous this thing and just see. Yeah, it'll do the 249 miles an hour in second gear, which still doesn't entirely make sense to me, but whatever. But yeah, you can just see how insane like games used to be when it came to like their secret cars. I kinda wish games were still as nuts as this here when it came to secret cars. The only other game I can think of which had some sort of like secret car that was kinda like this here was, well, I guess you could say Burnout Paradise had some. Actually, that's another game I could actually play on the channel, Burnout Paradise, but I'll probably not play that immediately because, well, playing two racing games back to back is probably not the greatest idea. But you can just see, look how quick this thing is without nitrous. Holy crap! And you can see how quick the turning is as well. This thing is absolutely just immense speed-wise. It's absolutely just crazy. But yeah, you can see like just how broken this thing would be if it was actually a normal game. Can you imagine the thing here in a normal game, like racing against the LA cars and things like that? This thing would just destroy them all with ease. Like, unfortunately you can't use this thing in the campaign when you're playing like the New Game Plus sort of mode. Like, it's just sort of like banned by the game. The game just does not allow this thing to go into it because, well, you can see how broken this thing would be. I mean, it's able to turn on like a dime at 240 miles an hour. So yeah, you can see how that would be a bit broken. I mean, the responsiveness of this thing is probably the thing that catches you out the most. I mean, look at that. It doesn't make any sense, but it's awesome at the same time. Like, games don't really do shit like this anymore, where you just have a car which is clearly like the best car, and it just turns on like a dime. Like, if you tried doing this sort of speed and turning like this here in a game like Forza Horizon 4, which you can go faster in a game like that, but so you think of another game where you can do a backflip in a jet car. It wasn't a total backflip, but trust me, we'll get to the backflips in the next video with the cheat codes. The cheat codes, they're something special in this game. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one, which will probably be the last one on this game.